In this video, I'm just going to run through commonly heard listening expressions that you will need to know for the Leaving Certificate German Hörverständnis, which is the listening component of your examination. The expressions are also transferable, whereby you can use them orally or use them in a written perspective. So one aspect of the listening comprehension would be somebody talking about, for example, expressing agreement. We'll see this agreement later on, but I'll just go through various themes. So expressing agreement, natürlich, naturally. If you had watched my video about either simple or long expressions, or looked at my video on basic German word order, you would know natürlich would be bracketed into either being what is either time, manner, or place if you looked at the linguistic building blocks of German. So if any of those components, which we group together as X, are put to the start of a verb, start of a sentence, the verb is always in second position. So the example I gave is ich spiele Fußball, am Samstag spiele ich Fußball. So natürlich was the start of the sentence, would be followed by the verb and then the subject. If it is a past tense, the first verb is always second, and the second verb is put in its normal position. And the second one is genau, exactly. Das stimmt, that's right. Richtig, right. Der Meinung bin ich auch. I'm of the same opinion. Da gebe dir ihn recht. Dir or ihnen, depending on the level of formality. I agree with you. Ich bin davon fest überzeugt. I'm convinced firmly of it. So, on the topic of sich bedanken, saying thank you, vielen oder schönen Dank, herzlichen Dank, ich freue mich sehr, warm thanks, das finde ich toll, prima, klasse, das finde ich sehr nett von Ihnen, very nice of you. The last one, das hätten Sie wirklich nicht machen müssen. There was really no need to do that. So, well, the first card was expressing agreement. This is expressing Sicherheit, certainty, Unsicherheit, uncertainty. Ich bin ganz sicher, bin ganz unsicher. Da weiß ich, I know it. Das weiß ich nicht so genau. Es besteht gar kein Zweifel. There's no doubt of it. Ich habe Zweifel, I have doubt. Das könnte ich nicht so genau sagen. I couldn't say it exactly. Okay. Verlangen, I'll spell that V-E-R-L-A-N-G-E-N, demanding, of fragen, asking. Ich verlange das, I demand it. Ich bestehe darauf, I insist on it. Würden Sie mir bitte das helfen? Could you please do that? Sie müssen das tun, Sie müssen das machen, you must do it. Wäre es möglich, das zu tun und machen? Would it be possible to do that? Können Sie das bitte für mich tun? Would you please do that for me? So, if the topic is Enttäuschung, disappointment, or sich beschweren, complaining, you know that when you have sich, it's indicative of a reflexive verb. So, es tut mir wirklich L-I-C-H, leid, I'm really sorry about that. Ich bin echt traurig deswegen, sad about it. Das bedauere ich sehr, I regret it. Ich möchte mich beschweren, I'd like to complain. Es passiert nie wieder, it won't happen again. Das finde ich nicht sehr gut, don't find that good. And schade, pity. Next one. The next topic, if the topic is sich freuen, delight, or dafür und dagegen, for or against something. Sample expressions would be, das freut mich, I'm happy. Das ist aber schön, that is nice. Ach, wie schön, herrlich, how nice or excellent. Das ist aber eine schöne Überraschung, that's a nice surprise. Ich bin dafür und dagegen, look at the top. Ich bin damit einverstanden, I agree with you. Ich bin nicht damit einverstanden. if the mood is about Ärger, which is annoyance, or the topic of Warnung, which is warning, something you could hear could be, das geht mir richtig auf den Wecker. That's not right by me. Wie kann man nur so doof sein? D-O-O-F. How can you be so stupid? Ach, lass mich in Ruhe. Leave me alone. Ich warne dich. I warn you. Ich warne euch, sie. Again, depending on the expression of formality. Ich verzeihe es dir. I forgive you. And es ist Verzeihung is forgiving. Okay, so another thing you'd have to be able to know is how to spell the various Bundesländer, which are the German federal states. And sometimes if to mention a major river or city. But again, we'll just go through the Bundesländer. So Baden-Württemberg, Bayern, Berlin, Brandenburg, Bremen, Hamburg, Hessen, Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, Niedersachsen, Nordrhein-Westfalen, Saarland, Sachsen-Anhalt, Schleswig-Holstein und Thüringen. Okay, so something that definitely is going to come up is the topic of either a natural or an economic or a social disappointment or disaster. And also the topic of the weather. So the weather, possibly the easiest part, but again, you just need to know kind of like some key phrases that make them up. So, der Sturm, das Gewitter, die Temperatur, die Hitzewelle, Heatwave, der Hochdruck, der Tiefdruck, die Sicht, the visibility. So, and up here at the side, die Luftfeuchtigkeit, so Luftfeuchtigkeit, humidity, der Niederschlag, precipitation or rainfall, und die Aussichten. So you have the Tageshöchsttemperature, the daily higher temperature, and the Tagestiefstemperature, the low temperature. Und die Wettervorhersage, which is the weather report or the forecast. Continuing on with the weather, because again it's a topic that will come up, you need to familiarize yourself with it properly. Das Wetter, the weather. Zeitweise Regen is rain at times. Zeitweise Regen, rain at times. Einzelner Regen or vereinzelte Regen, scattered showers. Aufgelockert, and then depending on the sentence, because obviously it'll go into the accusative case, clouds dispersed. Seltenweise Gewitter, scattered thunderstorms. Der Nieselregen, the drizzle. Furchtbar, trocken, stark, mäßig, moderate. Es ist bewölkt. And as you know, es regnet, es blitzt, es neblig, es viert, es donnert, es bedeckt, which is overcast, es hagelt, and es schneit. So, as I said, another topic will definitely come up is discussing Katastrophen or social disorder. So we'll start off with Katastrophen first. So der Volcano, das Orkan, hurricane, das Erdbeben, the earthquake, B-E-B-E-N, earthquake, die Überschwemmung, the flood, die Hungersnot, famine, der Krieg, war, die Dürre, drought, and then just some geographical points im Norden, im Süden, im Osten, im Westen. So, again, next topic is Unfälle, accidents, which again will come up, they all will come up, that's the reason why I'm doing this video. So, der Unfall, accident, der Augenzeuge, eyewitness, der Stau, traffic jam, der Verkehr, traffic, die Wartezeit, waiting time, die hohe Geschwindigkeit, high speed, ums Leben gekommen. You'll hear that, so make sure you know that one. Erleiden, to suffer. Überholen, to overtake. Tödlich, fatal. Die Ursache, cause. Die Insassen, occupants. Und die Ampel, lights. Okay, so Unfälle again. Continuing on. Die falsche Fahrbahn, the wrong side of the road. Der oder die Beifahrer, Fahrerin, the front seat passenger, either male or female. Schwere Verletzung, serious injuries. Der Alkoholeinfluss, driving under the influence. Zusammenstoßen mit, to collide with, again, learn that because it'll come up. Prallen gegen, same thing, learn it, pral, to crash into. Röntgen, the x-ray, where in Krankenhaus hospital, and then just at the top there, unverluchten. Unverluchten, to have an accident. So, at the start earlier on in part 2 of the listening, you'll definitely have a telephone conversation. And you'll quickly get the gist of what the conversation will be about from the vocabulary presented on this video. Besteht auf einem Treffen, Treffen, consists on a meeting, wird sich wieder melden, to be in touch, will get in touch again, kann einen Anruf entgegennehmen, can take a call until, innerhalb, morgen früh, im Laufe des Tages, spätestens übermorgen. And then Telefon erhält einen Rückruf, will receive a callback. Mochte ein Treffen, would like a meeting. Or mochte einen Termin, would like a meeting. Bittet einen Termin, to request a meeting. Wird morgen zurückgerufen, will call back tomorrow. Wünscht einen Rückruf, would like a callback. Erwartet einen Rückruf, is expecting a callback. And wird zurückgerufen. So again, with this section of the listening, you're focusing for exact details, because when you're obviously taking a message, it has to be accurate. A part that I haven't put up on the cards is that they're obviously going to put their telephone number, their voorval, which is the area code, if necessary. So you need to make sure that you're familiar with listening to numbers, either spelt out in unary digital fashion like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or in a format like 22, 89, 13, 411. Just so you need to be familiar with both formats of expressing numbers and telephone details.